This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, Northeast Ohio, on this sunny Friday, April 21st. I'm Stephanie Haney here with what's making headlines this afternoon. And we start today in Akron, where we learned that a federal lawsuit has been filed against the city, alleging that it violated the U.S. Constitution with the way it treated protesters. The protests were against the grand jury decision not to indict the 8 Akron officers who shot and killed Jayland Walker. Now, for the most part, these protests have been peaceful, but Wednesday night, officers say protesters were throwing bottles and rocks, and they used tear gas and pepper spray on the protesters. Now, when we're talking about that grand jury decision, today, for the first time, we're getting to hear part of the evidence that was presented to that panel. The Ohio Attorney General's office released video of the interviews with officers involved in Jayland's shooting after the incident. Now, their identities haven't been released, so their faces are blurred, but you can hear them give their points of view of what happened.
I discharged my firearm until the threat was neutralized. I believe he was still a threat even though he was shot, because through my past experiences, someone that's shot doesn't mean the threat's neutralized.
And I looked in and I could see the suspect was wearing a ski mask, and my heart just dropped because I was like, oh, like, the guy shot at us once already. He's got a ski mask on. Like, this is like a nightmare at this point.
Now, all of those officers spoke about how they believed Jayland was reaching for a gun when they opened fire on him. Again, he was unarmed when he was shot and killed. He had previously fired 1 shot during the car chase and had left the gun in his car when he started running from officers. Now, in Hudson, police are investigating after a Cleveland State professor was found shot to death in his home. Police were performing a welfare check on Wednesday night when they say they found 41-year-old Todd Morgan dead. He'd been shot in the head and upper body. CSU tells 3 News that Morgan was an assistant professor in the Department of Management at the Monte Ahuja College of Business. Police say this is an isolated incident. So far, no arrests have been made in this case. Now, in Akron, 2 people have been arrested after a DoorDash driver was shot and killed Wednesday night. Police say 22-year-old Javier Greer was found shot on Timber Trail where he was making a delivery. It's believed the suspects, 21-year-old Matthew Couch and 19-year-old Derek Ransom Fromby, had gotten into a fight with the driver and then followed him to the delivery location. So far, they're charged with felonious assault, but more charges are expected. Now, in Lakewood, new video shows a woman crashing her car through the patio at Ola Tacos. This happened yesterday, and police say she was backing out of a parking lot, hit a wall, and then overcorrected before driving through the restaurant's fence. All of the injuries were minor, thankfully, and the owners say they plan to reopen today. Now, the former vice president of Discovery Tours, which offered educational tours for students, was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison yesterday. Joseph Cipoletti pleaded guilty last summer to multiple federal charges, including wire fraud, money laundering, and bank fraud. Cipoletti used Discovery Tours to steal field trip money from students who paid to go places like Washington, D.C. and Chicago. Now, tomorrow is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. If you've got unused prescription drugs sitting around at home, you can dispose of them safely at drop-off locations in Northeast Ohio. We have a link to find one near you at WKYC.com. And coming up tonight at 5:30 on What's Now, we'll talk more about this and the opioid epidemic in the country. Now, here's a heads up if you're heading to Akron City Hall on Monday. The city says the municipal building on High Street will be closed so crews can repair the water main. That's the city building at 166 South High Street. We're told that the city council meeting scheduled for Monday will be held virtually, and the city says this closure won't impact any city services. Now, in Cleveland, the Cleveland Metropolitan School District has narrowed its search for the next CEO to 2 candidates. Dr. Warren Morgan, on the left, used to work in the district as a network leader. He's currently the chief academic officer in Indianapolis. And Dr. Ricardo Torres, on the right, currently works in the Seattle public school system. He also has past experience in Cleveland working as a school administrator. Both candidates will interview next week. All right, if you want to feel the playoff atmosphere here at home this weekend, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is the place to be. They're hosting watch parties for games 3 and 4 of round 1 of the NBA playoffs in the Cavaliers versus the New York Knicks. Doors at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse open tonight at 7:30 with the game starting at 8:30, and on Sunday doors open at noon with that game starting at 1. Now there's a 6-ticket limit per person. Tickets are $5 each, and all of that money raised goes to Habitat for Humanity, so going to a good cause. All right, we end on a high note today in Macedonia, where the Get-Go that sold the winning Powerball ticket earlier this week got a bonus of its own. The Ohio Lottery dropped off a check at the gas station today for $100 grand. And the store announced it's splitting that check with the team members who work at the store. How cool is that? Now, they're also going to donate a portion to the Akron Canton Regional Food Bank. So, huge win in Macedonia, definitely this week, not only for that big lottery winner, but also for all the people who work there and all the people who need some help in Akron. We love to see that. All right, thanks for being with us for today's and this week's editions of 3 News Daily. We appreciate you wherever you're watching or listening. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio.